Now, why buy a monitor in the first place? Simple answer: more control. Big 5. Composition, sharpness, exposure, color, audio. So let's check out the 7-inch monitor with a Full HD IPS panel, which takes 4K signals, has a touchscreen, LUT support, and blasts a respectable 1000 nits, which makes it daylight viewable. Here we go, Desview R7. Let's get the problematic stuff out of the way first. No sun hood, and you can't attach one either. It is bright, daylight viewable, as I said before, for sure, but a sun hood, at least as an option, would have been nice. Peaking and zebras unfortunately affect the overlays, so my white overlays are being marked as overexposed and in focus. I get the way it's coded, but you could fix that with a firmware update rather easily. On/off button, I would prefer a switch to prevent battery drain through the status LED, not a deal breaker though either. One thing I don't like is that you can't turn a function like peaking just on and off by assigning it to a function button. You always have to toggle every peaking option until you get the one you want. One last thing before I start to rave about this monitor: 2 more assignable function buttons would be nice. Because the touch interface is really good to set the monitor up the way you want it to, but operating during a shoot is done way faster with buttons. So that would be perfect. 2 extra ones. Nonetheless, great piece of gear. So what's in the box? Monitor, quality injection molded ABS plastic, very lightweight yet durable. Sony NPF Studio battery plate, 550s, 750s and 970s. Cool. HDMI in, HDMI out, USB support for firmware update and LUT support. Headphone input, excellent. So even if your camera doesn't have one, you can now monitor and check your audio on set. Flashy monitor mount, works great if you adjust the tension with a tiny Allen wrench here. Quality part, value in and of itself, works. Power cable, micro and mini HDMI cable, nice quality by the way, limber, won't strain the connectors. Power input to run it off the grid, very good for studio use obviously. Whenever you can run stuff off the grid, do it. Little Desview USB stick for firmware updates and LUTs, cleaning cloth and a pouch. Love that there is a pouch. Pouches are great, very underrated. One little thing, maybe add a regular power cable that plugs right into a wall socket instead of this one. Still, overall, very good package. All the accessories are of high quality, which is not always the case. But Desview made the right decisions for sure. Now let's get into the big 5 and set up a nice shot to show you how you can work with the monitor. Number 1, composition. It is a 7-inch monitor, which is maybe a little bit big for handheld running and gunning. I would prefer 5 inches there, but to set up shots and work from a tripod or on a slider, a gimbal even, 7 inches are the sweet spot as far as I'm concerned. You simply do not have to be as close to the monitor to judge the image as you would have to be using a smaller one. So I go into the menu and pick the rule of thirds grid, together with my CinemaScope aspect ratio. Then I set up my shot. The rule of thirds grid stays on all the time in an unobtrusive grey color. The CinemaScope marker is set to a function button. Number 2, sharpness. Full HD resolution means you're getting a pretty sharp image as it is. Still, assist functions are there to assist, so why not use them? In my case, I'm a big fan of peaking and zooming in pixel to pixel. So once again, I enter the menu and turn on peaking. Red is the color of choice for me, intensity high. And now with peaking turned on, I zoom in to precisely set the focus. One problem, pixel to pixel always zooms into the middle of the frame, which is not necessarily where I want to check focus all the time. There is, however, an independent zoom function within the menu that lets you choose the zoom area via a 9 grid. But this one you cannot assign to a function button. Once again, an opportunity to improve the interface with a later firmware update. Number 3, exposure. Tools of the trade, histogram and zebras. Zebras first. Important, match the zebra setting of the monitor to the zebra setting of the camera. If in camera you set the zebra to 100, that's the way you should set up the monitor. Because camera and monitor might not always be close to each other, but you technically want to be able to judge the image on either one. Zebras are always on. The histogram can show luminance or RGB color. Because it is a rather small overlay, I choose luminance and, as you will see in a moment, use waveforms for color. I place the histogram in the bottom right corner, just because I'm used to it sitting there. Some transparency, but not too much. Number 4, color. White balance and skin tones is where it's at, meaning waveforms, the vector scope, and zooming in. Activating the waveforms inside the menu. RGB channels separate. And now let's set a nice mood that fits the scene. It's evening, so let's boost the red channel, upping the Kelvin in camera until the look is right. Next, skin tones. Activating the vector scope on the monitor, zooming in to show as much skin as possible. Unfortunately, that very useful feature, as mentioned earlier, cannot be assigned to a function button, which I would really like because of this very process I'm showing you right here. This is the skin tone line, and this is how the vector scope needs to look like. All the values on the line. And there we go. White balance and skin tones done. Now, a word or two about LUTs. With the Desview R7 you have the ability to load LUTs, pre-designed ones or your own if you choose to, which is cool, but there is no LUT on planet Earth that out of the box works perfectly with every shot you take, especially if you're shooting available light. If you use LUTs, you already know this. They have to be custom fit to each shot, even if there are only slight changes to be made. So when using LUTs on the monitor, think of them as an advanced gamma display assist. It will give you an idea of what the finished image might look like after grading, when you're editing, but you will not get a perfect end result image on your monitor. It is just an assist function, nothing more. Very important. Be very careful with applying a LUT in the monitor and then altering the image to fit the LUT in camera. The monitor is very good, but you are not looking at a hardware calibrated screen. Use the histogram, waveforms and vector scope to get a technically correct image, and then use the in-monitor LUT if you feel you need it. Now the whole LUT business really becomes helpful when your client is on set and you're shooting log, for example. You know what log footage looks like and that it will look way different after grading. But your client probably does not know that. They're looking at an image that looks nothing like what they expect. In such a situation, LUTs are great, because right away they inspire confidence in your abilities as a creator on the side of your client. So you don't need to explain the technicalities and intricacies of a log workflow, which, to be honest, is in vain anyway, because probably your client doesn't have a background in video creation. To make it short, in-monitor LUTs are great to show the client an image close to the end result on set. But you, as the creator, still need to make sure the image is technically correct using assist functions first. Last but not least, number 5, audio. Now, we're not going to go into how to level what kind of microphone, but sometimes batteries run out, jacks come undone a little, and your audio is gone. You want to be able to see the levels at all times, just to make sure you're definitely getting audio. Since HDMI carries audio, let's turn on the audio meters from within the monitor menu and place them in the bottom left corner. For monitoring and checking, you hook up a nice headset and you're all ready to go. Alright, no sun hood, 2 more function buttons maybe, and a bit of work to put into the next firmware update. But apart from that, it's a joy to work with the R7. It's daylight viewable, takes 4K signals, the accessories are very good and of high quality, it's a lightweight build, it runs off studio batteries or the grid, it has a responsive touch interface, a very good IPS panel, and all the assist functions you need to have absolute control over your image. The price is already good, but since December 5th, during the pre-Christmas season, they will drop it much closer to $200, which will definitely make it a steal. They have also told me that there will be a dedicated Christmas sale, so stay tuned if you're interested in the Desview R7. All the links you need in the description. So, if you liked the video, if you found it helpful, please make sure to leave a thumbs up, it's greatly appreciated. Any kind of comment or feedback is welcome, and I will try to answer as quickly as possible. All the tech that I've used in this video is also linked in the description. As always, thank you so much for your time, thank you for watching, and hopefully see you again soon.